At NTV, time now to take note of the price of politics, how NRM's hiked nomination fees affect youthful aspirants across the country ahead of the much anticipated general election, that is the 2026 local, parliamentary as well as presidential elections. Now, the announcement of the nomination fees by the leading party and also governing party, the National Resistance Movement, had a few tongues wagging. We are yet to hear from the president whether he is discontented or not by the hike to 20 million Uganda shillings. He once said that he is a man that earns a paltry 3 million Uganda shillings. Maybe hiking that fee could also affect him, but we are yet to hear from the president. The sentiment that we are abreast with is those of the youthful aspirants and many other members of parliament who might want to go for it, who say the money is a little bit too high. Allow me to introduce my guests this morning. I have with me Jackson Banduni. He's an activist and political analyst. Many thanks for joining us this morning.
A pleasure.
I also have with me Mercy Alupo, a Treasurer General within the FDC National Youth League. She's also an aspiring women representative for Bukedea District. I also have with me on my extreme left Mr. Peter Gift, a communication expert within the National Youth League. He's also contesting for Koboko District LC5 chairperson seat. Gentlemen and lady, welcome. I'm glad, like the topic is this morning, you are very youthful. Allow me begin with the lady for purposes of gentility. The fees as put forth by the National Resistance Movement must not be something to rattle the boat, so to speak. Why? The last election has seen so much happen over the last 5 years, and improvements have to be done. To increase the fee should not be seen as something detrimental. Why do you think it is?
Thank you so much, dear viewers. My opinion about the hiking of the nomination fee, I'll come in from the perspective of a young person. We, the young people, say that it is being very unfair to us because it is just not worth it. As young people, I'll give a case scenario. I'm just from the university and I have interests in leading my people. I'll say, for example, in Bukedea District, where I come from and where I intend to run. But because I have not yet been exposed into the employment sector, I have not yet gotten a job, or even I am getting a job, but my average salary is, let's say, 200,000. If I am not able to raise that 3 million, that is a technical kick out for me as a young person. So hiking the fees is kicking out young people technically. Secondly, it's also limiting our ability as young people. We are failing to serve and lead our country the way we ought to, simply because we do not have the resources to run for these positions. And you find that a person who is, let's say, I'll say it in quotes, a person who is financially stable running for these positions will not serve to the core, and they'll not serve to the satisfaction of the common person down there, because they are too busy thinking about their businesses, thinking about other things to do. So they fail to deliberate and to serve the common person. Another of my points is that I'll first give a reference of the FDC. We in the FDC, we do not charge nomination fee. So that means it is giving platform to the young people to come and represent and serve. Even the UFA, these people do not charge their members this nomination fee. But when we talk about NRM, it's literally not serving the interests of the people. If we had the fees free of charge, being the fact that it is the ruling party, it would carry sense. But as of now, it does not carry any sense. Young people are unable to explore their potential as leaders. The party itself is also not able to groom young leaders, because when I know that we are just supposed to pay 3M, what does it take me to get that 3M? Look for a political father or a political godmother. At the end of the day, when I get into office, I am only after regaining the money that I spent. So the leadership, you do not really serve with the pain of, I have to do this for my people, giving an opportunity for, in case another young person wanted to come up. Yes, as of now, I'll stop there.
Okay, let me go to the communications guy from the National Resistance Movement Youth League, and also contestant for Koboko District. Since you're within the party, I think for you, you're content, and you would like to give some money to the party so that it can improve the structures, aren't you?
First of all, I must lay out that I'm so privileged to be here in this hot seat. And I must say...
It's not a hot seat, no. This is an opportunity for us to simply engage on national issues.
All right. I am a bit flummoxed because of the recent hiking of the nomination fees. And I think it is an indictment on the leadership at the party, because as a youth, I feel this kind of pickets, the kind of politics in the NRM doesn't favor the youth. Now, I want to first start by saying, when this roadmap was rolled out, when the nomination fees were rolled out, I saw a chorus of MPs in the precincts of Parliament jubilating and heaping praise on the hiked nomination fees. They said, wait a minute, we could have even made the nomination fees for members of Parliament to be 5 million, not 3.
Not 3.
So that is regrettable, and I do believe the naivety among some members of the party is the one that will lead to the downfall of this party. Because I do believe a party that prides in being a mass party must do certain things. The basic minimums of a mass party includes inclusivity. Now, inclusivity means you have to accommodate each and every category of people,
including the least.
Yes. So when you look at the nomination fees, does it reflect that inclusivity? So this raises questions on the aspect of mass party that we jubilate about. But far from that, the nomination fees of NRM may seem as an issue that is a hurdle, but it is a deeper syndrome. It is a deeper symptom of a decaying politics, because we have got to look beyond just NRM. Let us picture and mirror the politics of Uganda. Does it favor the youths? Well, I may as well boycott the nomination fees of NRM and say, I have the rights to come as independent. But do I stand a chance to even compete in the elections of the country?
As an independent.
So the politics is inclined towards benefiting the rich and the powerful, while intimidating and kicking out the weak and the poor. So these are realities that we have got to talk about.
Interesting. Allow me to stay with you very shortly because of my particular need to understand exactly how the National Resistance Movement intends to roll this out, or what exactly the objectives were. How do you expect the party to lessen the numbers, especially when it comes to contesting for political office? There must be a way of ensuring the numbers are governable. Because if, for example, we say for a member of parliament, a nomination fee will be a paltry 100,000 Uganda shillings. You could have an avalanche of contestants for any one particular position, because after all, the money, the nomination fee is little. Haven't you been taken through this point of view to understand that there must be some sort of cap in order to ensure that the numbers are manageable?
Now, this is a convenience that some people find themselves in. That, you know what, we have got to levy these hefty nomination fees so that we kick out unserious people. Now, that is the term, and
they use.
A member of parliament has made that remark. We have got to increase the pay, the nomination fees, so that we kick out people who are not serious. Now, I want to assert that one of the principles of the national resistance movement is democracy. Now, you very well know the tenets of democracy. Democracy talks about inclusivity. You have got to include people, however mean they can be, however poor they can be, you have got to include them. So democracy is a bit hard to accommodate, but if you're a party that has stayed in power for over 40 years, I do believe you need to operate differently. I would not blame FDC if at all they start doing what we are doing currently, because they are still a young party. So for us who have stayed in power for 40 years, I think it is high time we operate differently. Now, the argument is, this money is put so that we can facilitate the activities of the party during the primaries. Now they are levying that hefty nomination fees so that they can mobilize resources. What if I make this argument? You lower that cap, you lower that nomination fee, and so many people come. Don't you think you'll make more money and to facilitate the nomination of other candidates during the general elections?
Okay. I see the argument there on economies of scale, where you have a lot more people paying lesser sums of money than less paying hefty figures. Mr. Jackson Banduni,
yes, please.
You are in the activism space.
Yeah, sure.
This one is a case of you not necessarily speaking for the NRM or the Forum for Democratic Change, but for the other youth out there who might feel excluded on account of these hefty nomination fees. But it's also a bit of sanitizing the politics, or maybe allowing for people to come in numbers that are governable.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you so much, Bwana Moderator. Thank you so much, Comrade Gift and Mercy, for offering an insight what's happening in the FDC and in the NRM. And now, leadership is actually basically a response to a calling to serve the people. And it's actually very good to say that leadership is a public good, responding to serve the people. And in the conference of our constitution, it is very clearly enshrining that a person above the age of 18 can vie for
political office,
or can also actually vote for someone in a political office. And if you look at the statistics, around 78% of the population in our nation is actually youthful, is actually young, and it is below the age of 30. That means that if you're so clear and deeper, between 18 to 30 are actually the youth, and these constitute around 22.7% of the population. And from my colleague in NRM, it is clearly noted that actually 45% of these 22.7% are actually the NRM, majorly distributed across the country, but majorly in the upcountry areas. And if you speak to reality and to the facts on ground, demographic and economic facts on ground, the youth on average actually earn around 400K per month.
Average?
On average.
Isn't it on high?
Actually, it's even a little bit higher. It's even a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And majority of these people who are politically conscious and aware are actually hailed from, just fresh from university, or some actually studying in the university. That informs you that actually these people who are running for office are not doing financially well. And it basically means that if at all we are to climb and hinge ourselves on the principles of inclusivity, that money is much. 3 million for someone fresh from university, or someone who earns on average 400K, which is even already high, is actually being overcharged. And if at all we must enforce sanity in our politics, it means that we actually breaching, we actually biting more than what we can chew. What am I saying is that if at all someone maybe lobbies and gets maybe 100 million to run for a political office, you're going to have what we call a cutthroat competition, and you're going to have a very dirty politics, because someone who has vied for office after injecting hefty amounts of money is going to make sure that they do all it takes to get back their money. So my aspect here, what I'm seeing here is that the party, Malawi, is trying to curb the numbers. It actually is trying to commoditize politics. It's a very wrong thing, because when you commoditize politics, you're actually it's going to come at the expense of service delivery. And that's my biggest concern here. The NRM should look at mass mobilization, and that can only come when we lower the fees that are required to actually seek for political offices going forward.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jackson Banduni. Now, in light of the fact that the other two are aspirants, and given your youthful nature, I would be remiss if I don't give you the opportunity to take us through your ideology as leaders and what you might want to put forth as your offer for leadership to your people. You are vying against the Speaker of Parliament, that is in Bukedea municipality. That requires a little bit of courage itself to go against a political behemoth. First, tell us, what is your political ideology, and what is it that the people of Bukedea must expect?
Thank you so much. For Bukedea, I would say the incumbent has done a lot when it comes to facelifting. But Bukedea needs more service delivery than facelifting. I, as Alupo, believe in leadership that is driven by compassion and humanity. And those are the things that I intend to prioritize as a leader. I do not believe in politics of having elbows, no. But I want a Bukedea that is peaceful and every service is accessible for everyone, not for a particular group of people or a handful. Yes, so as a leader of Bukedea, I intend that is what I intend to deliver to my people. It is not all about what you own or yes.
Okay, allow me to stay with you, particularly because of the nature of opponent that you're going to face, an incumbent, a Speaker of Parliament, and a very powerful politician at that. Fast forward to 2026, January, the election is done, you've been elected Member of Parliament as a women representative for Bukedea District. Would that inspire you to look at contesting for speakership?
No. That is where most people actually mistake me. I am not contesting against the Speaker of Uganda. Okay. But I am contesting against the woman Member of Parliament for Bukedea District.
All right, thank you very much. That's very brilliant. You, Mr. Peter Gift, you are contesting for Koboko District LC5. Now, this is local government, and local government is at the core of service delivery. There are so many problems that arise on account of resources staying at the center and being unable to trickle down so that the people at the local government level can effectively deliver these services, including votes. For example, the other day I was having a conversation with a gentleman who said if money has been released for a particular campaign, even if that particular project or campaign has not been undertaken, don't get that money and bring it onto the salary vote. You know, leave it there, take it back, and then complain at a certain point in time. Do you think this way of running the local government is sustainable?
Actually, in the first place, I do believe local governments face tremendous challenges, and this country needs a rebooting system. Because if you look at most of the local governments in Uganda, you realize there's, first of all, budget cuts. They receive less than they have budgeted. And sometimes the money is delayed. And sometimes, when they fail to spend some money, it is drawn back to the consolidated funds.
That's right.
So that kind of operation, I think, limits development. Now, for ineffective local governments, now it is even worse when you plan and you fail to utilize mostly the majority part of the budget. And these are some of the things that have made us to come into this forefront. Because we do believe, wait a minute, we have been given money, and you are failing to utilize this money, and it is drawn back to the consolidated funds. Yet you could have constructed something small for our people. But apart from that, I do believe our local government structures should be reinforced more at the apex of leadership here in the central, because this is where everything is. All the policies, all the issues regarding development of the country are made here in Kampala under the parliament.
Okay.
So I think local government structures deserve more pay.
All right, thank you very much. We shall allow Jackson Banduni to do the wrap for us, given his now very independent point, as in you're not affiliated to any political party, are you?
Okay, that clarity will be made in the days ahead.
Okay. All right, wrap this up for us.
Yeah, but in this context, I want to say that it is very wrong to say let us hike these prices to eliminate the young people. You know, if I told myself continuity in other political parties, be it NRM, be it FDC, or the new whatsoever, we need to have grooming taking place. And basically, you can have grooming is actually when you when you bring these young people on board, create a conducive environment for them, and try to allow them partake into the politics as such. And then number two, I want to say that Musea has for long always complained about external actors in the politics of this country, interferers in the politics of this country. And if I told must eliminate interference in the politics of this country, then we must be able to actually curb the prices, because if you do not allow me to operate within my means, I'm going to lobby for resources from elsewhere. That means that resources is going to come with implications.
Wow. Thank you very much for that perspective, Jackson Banduni, political activist. Many thanks to you too, Mercy Alupo, aspiring women representative for Bukedea District. If I were the current MP right now, my tummy would be, uncomfortable. And many thanks to you too, Peter Gift, who is vying for Koboko LC5 seat. By making sure that I'm very deliberate and intentional about the posts and the positions these young men and women are vying for, is on account of the fact that they come into the political space from a point of disadvantage. And many times in the contestation of politics, they need every push that they can receive. So Morning at NTV is glad to say we hope you make it in your political aspirations. That will do it for the Tech Note. It's been a pleasure having your company. Many thanks to the great team behind the scenes. I'm glad that we have Rashula Didi with us today here. The man is not in Koboko. There are a lot of things that we need to know about what's happening there. No doubt there's a good job that you are doing, and we also wish you the very best in your aspirations there.